Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. I'm back again for another one of these blogs for Thursday, June 26, 2014. It's about 7:30 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts, because it's going to be a very damp and dreary day. Maybe a lot of thunder showers and rain and downpours. Some sports news to report. The Boston Red Sox beat Seattle Mariners to avoid a sweep by a score of 5-4. Another home run by Ortiz, Big Papi. And also the USA's plays Germany at the World Cup today at 11 a.m. on ESPN. The USA needs to win or tie to go into the round of 16, the knockout round. And also the NBA draft tonight at 7 p.m. on ESPN, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have the #1 pick. There's rumors the Celtics might be getting it, but I doubt it. And they say it's going to be a very deep draft for the NBA this year. So a lot of impact players could be helping these teams out in the lottery, okay? My subject today for the first blog is a movie review from 1982. It's called, the movie I'm going to review is The Toy. The Toy starred Jackie Gleason, Richard Pryor, and Scotty Shorts. And it's about like a kid, a spoiled kid who, with his rich father, buys, a guy. And it's a pretty good movie. It starts off with like Richard Pryor's character, Jack Brown, an unemployed writer who really wants to get a job at the Bugle, the newspaper that's owned by U.S. Bates, played by Jackie Gleason, but he can't get on the newspaper, and his house is on the verge of being auctioned off, so he tries to sneak into his company, Bates Corporation, as a cleaning lady, but gets fired when Mr. Bates sees him dressed as a woman, and then he gets a job at one of Bates's cleaning departments, and then they have Master Bates, Eric, come in and looking around the department store to see what he wants, and he buys Jack Brown to be his toy, and then Jack Brown goes to gets shipped to the house, the Bates house, and Jack Brown and Eric Bates form a friendship, and to the true meaning of a friendship, because Eric Bates' father, U.S. Bates, they have a very frosty relationship, and Jack Brown and Eric Bates bond together, meaning the true meaning of the friend. They go race car driving together and walking on stilts. And then Jack Brown, who's a newspaper writer, who tells Eric to learn how to write a newspaper, and then they interview all of U.S. Bates' employees, tell them secrets, and then they print a newspaper, and it's all about U.S. Bates' stories about how he buys people and stuff, and they distribute it to all of the people, including the employees, and then one of U.S. Bates' head honchos, Mr. Morehouse, who's played by Ned Beatty, shows him that, and then they bring him in the office, and U.S. Bates says all of those stories are lies, and he wants all of those newspapers accounted for and shredded, and they don't do it. And then the last thing is, one of the last parts of the movie, something U.S. Bates has a senator and somebody who's a ringleader for the KKK for a fundraiser, and both of them don't know what they're at the party for. And then when those two people meet together, then chaos comes over, and Jack Brown and Eric Bates ruin the party and stuff like that, and it's very funny. And at the end of the movie, when when Eric is going back to military school, and U.S. Bates is trying to bond with him, he wanted nothing to do with his father, and then when they were about to go on Eric was about to go on the plane back to military school. He sneaks away from his father and gets a cab and tries to go to Jack Brown's house, but Jack Brown says no, and he says, your father's reaching out to you, and we've said that I'd get to know you, and he didn't like the way he was playing the game. His father's reaching out to you, and then at the end of the movie, Eric and U.S. Bates hug and says, I love you, father, and I love you too, son. And at the end of the movie, U.S. Bates offers Jack Brown the job at the newspaper, and then they said next year he'll have 2 weeks, one with me, one with you. And Eric, much to the joy of Eric. I thought this was a very great movie. It's the only time that two of the greatest comedic actors, Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor, were in a movie together, and they were pretty good. The movie made over $42 million at the box office in 1982. If you equivalents of today, it'd probably be close to $80 million, which, that's considered a box office hit. I have the movie on DVD. Also, you could see the movie maybe on demand for Encore or one of these channels. And I recommend you seeing the movie. It's a real funny movie. It's one of those hidden classic gem comedy movies of the 1980s. It's a recommended. Like Cisco and Ebert used to say, 2 thumbs up, okay? Back later for more of these blogs.